Hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid. Picture this: a cramped cockpit, the hum of hyperdrive, and two figures whose paths could not have been more divergent. On one side, a farm boy, barely out of adolescence, brimming with an almost naive hope, clutching a mystical laser sword and speaking of an invisible, all-encompassing energy field. On the other, a scruffy smuggler, cynical to his core, whose universe revolved around credits and self-preservation, with a blaster confidently holstered at his hip. This wasn't merely a meeting of strangers, it was the collision of two fundamental worldviews: Luke Skywalker's boundless idealism against Han Solo's hardened pragmatism. From their very first encounter, it was clear that Luke and Han were on opposite ends of a philosophical spectrum. Luke, fresh from Tatooine, carried with him the innocent belief in a greater good, the whispers of destiny, and a deep-seated faith in the legendary Jedi. He saw the galaxy not just as a place of danger, but as a realm where heroism was possible, where the Force could guide and protect. He spoke of his father's legacy, of rescuing a princess, of joining a rebellion, all with an earnestness that was both inspiring and, to Han, utterly bewildering. Han, conversely, saw only the harsh realities. For him, the Force was a hokey religion, a relic of a bygone era, dismissed with a wave of his hand and a dismissive scoff. He believed in what he could see, touch, and shoot. Trust was a luxury, loyalty a weakness, unless it directly benefited him. His initial motivation to join the fight wasn't a grand sense of justice, but a straightforward transaction of credits. He openly mocked Luke's wide-eyed optimism, his belief in a destiny as a fool's errand, a dangerous fantasy concocted by an impressionable farm boy. He nicknamed him Kid, a term dripping with a mix of affection and condescension, perfectly encapsulating his initial perception of Luke. Yet it was precisely this abrasive, often exasperated dynamic that laid the groundwork for one of cinema's most beloved and believable friendships. Beneath Han's layers of sarcasm and his carefully constructed persona of indifference, a subtle, almost imperceptible shift began to occur. Luke's unwavering faith, his genuine courage in the face of impossible odds, and his simple, unshakable goodness started to chip away at Han's jaded worldview. Han had seen plenty of brave people, but Luke's bravery was different. It wasn't reckless abandonment for profit, but a selfless commitment to something larger than himself. Consider the harrowing escape from the Death Star. While Han navigated the treacherous corridors with cunning and a blaster, Luke, despite his inexperience, never faltered in his conviction to rescue Princess Leia. He faced stormtroopers with a bravery that, while sometimes clumsy, was undeniably pure. Han, who had likely seen countless acts of self-interest, was slowly witnessing true altruistic heroism. This wasn't something he could buy or sell. It was an innate quality in Luke that perhaps he secretly admired. On the flip side, Han's street-smart realism and his cynical pragmatism served as a vital grounding force for Luke. While Luke's idealism was his strength, it could also make him vulnerable. Han, with his knack for improvisation and his clear-eyed assessment of danger, brought a necessary dose of reality to their missions. He taught Luke, not in words but through action, that sometimes you needed to be resourceful, even a little bit cunning, to survive. It wasn't always about grand pronouncements of the Force. Sometimes it was about knowing when to run, when to bluff, or when to trust your gut in a more earthly, less mystical way. Their constant bickering, those quick, witty exchanges that defined their initial interactions, were not just comedic relief. They were the friction that forged their bond, each testing the other's resolve and refining their perspectives. The true turning point, the emotional core of their burgeoning friendship, came during the climax of A New Hope. Han, having secured his payment, was ready to abandon the rebellion and Luke to their fate. But something had shifted within him. He couldn't articulate it, perhaps he didn't even fully understand it himself, but Luke's earnestness, his courage, and the sheer audacity of his mission had resonated deeply. Han's return to save Luke during the trench run was a moment of profound transformation. It wasn't for credits, it was an act of selfless loyalty, a testament to the grudging respect that had blossomed into genuine affection. "You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home," was not just a line. It was Han Solo admitting, in his own gruff way, that he cared. By the time we see them again in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, their dynamic had matured into something akin to brotherhood. The bickering remained, but it was softer, imbued with deep affection and an understanding that transcended their initial differences. Luke still held his unwavering faith, now a powerful Jedi, while Han, though still pragmatist, had shed much of his cynicism, becoming a committed leader in the rebellion. Their individual strengths, once so diametrically opposed, had become perfectly complementary, a powerful balance of hope and pragmatism that was essential to their success and their survival. The legendary bond between Luke Skywalker and Han Solo reminds us that the most profound connections often emerge from unexpected contrasts. Their initial clash of idealism and cynicism wasn't a barrier, but a crucible. Luke's unwavering faith challenged Han's jaded heart, while Han's street-smart realism grounded Luke in the realities of their fight. Together, they embodied the perfect balance that the rebellion needed, the hope for a better future coupled with the practical means to achieve it. Their journey from skeptics and idealists to steadfast brothers in arms is a timeless narrative, a testament to how even the most cynical among us can be moved by genuine faith, and how even the most idealists need a touch of reality to navigate the world. What are your favorite moments that capture this incredible dynamic between Luke and Han? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue exploring the magic of these enduring friendships.